Alright, so I wanted to make a video about the reset event because this is one of the most important events at the start of any new season, right? You get to reset, you get to undo your mistakes, or balance changes might have nerfed some units. You want to reset those units to build up the buffed units and whatnot. So I want to talk about my thought process on who I will reset and who I already reset, because I use one of my resets. I'm not going to use the rest until the very end of the event because it's still too early to see how the meta shapes up. The unit I reset was Veronica. The reason I reset Veronica is there's absolutely no use case for her. For me anyways. No PvE, no PvP, no GVG. I just don't really use her anywhere. She actually got buffed last season, but it's not that she got buffed, it's just that there is power creep. Power creep always exists in these games. Units like Rahu did not get nerfed, but he just got power creep. There's just so many better units than him nowadays. And the unit that I'll also reset is 90% going to be Heinrich. Even though I'm only getting 4 lattices back, there is really no other units other than him that is just absolutely useless for my use cases. I don't use him in PvE, I don't use him in PvP. Even if I wanted to use him in PvE, he doesn't really need the 4 lattices into his S3. It works perfectly. I'm pretty sure it works perfectly fine at 111 if I was to ever use him in PvE, that is. And in PvP, I'm pretty sure you want like 455 or 555 or like 155 investments minimum, and even then he's pretty niche. And niche units, there is enough niche units as is in the current meta. There is the core units that you don't want to reset, that you want to have built up if you want to play RTA. And then there's the niche units, and he's like on the lower end of these niche units. And we have the universal units that are pretty key in both PvE and PvP. And these include Plume, Raymarie, Lilim, and arguably Lily. Lily, not so much. I'm seeing a lot of top players use Lily. A lot of the top RTA people use Lily. Bud, Lilim, Plume, and Ray, these 3 are top units in the game. Every account should have them fully latticed, preferably with dupes. And then the rest of your units are built depending on whether you are a PvE player or a PvP player. Unit like Rosa, I have 12 lattices into her. She's purely PvE. I do enjoy both PvE and PvP in this game. I can't really compete in either. If you want to compete in either PvE or PvP, you want to have max dupes, you want to have insane gear, you want to have insane chips, and all these things require you to be a spender. I am a spender. I don't spend enough to be able to compete. I might be able to compete in the next Nether Quarry potentially, but we'll see, because I am willing to put more investments into some PvE units to see if I can, make top 50, because I always make top 100. I want to see if I can make top 50 in the next Nether Quarry or not. Now, who should you reset? If you are a new player and you have latticed anyone other than these 3 units, Plume, Ray, and Lilim, and you don't really use them that often, I do recommend you reset them and then put the lattices into one of these 3 units. You can use this reset event not as a fix for your mistake, or more so like as maybe you lattice like a good unit. Maybe you're a new player and you lattice Kethos, right? You put 12 lattices into him. You don't really use Kethos in PvE at all, and as a new player, your main objective is PvE. What you can do is you can reset Kethos, use your free reset on Kethos, put your lattices into a unit that will help you, like Ray, like Plume, like Lilim, and then later on down the line, after you're done with PvE, you can put the lattices back into Kethos. I think that's like a good route, a good way to do it. Or maybe you accidentally latticed Nymphonial, for example. Nymphonial does benefit from 2 lattices into her S3. I think it is worth it. Units that only need the couple lattices to be good, I wouldn't reset them. But for example, one of my buddies put a lattice into Santic, put a lattice into Aya, and a lattice into Chloros. 1 lattice into each. Neither of these units, or like none of these units, will help him in PvE or PvP at the level that he's at. He would need to lattice units like the core PvP units first, and then he could lattice units like Aya, Santic, and Chloris is not a PvP unit. And he's also pretty niche in PvE. I would argue that Rosa is just a better unit than Chloris in PvE. But yeah, make sure you have the core units latticed. If you're a PvE player, your core units are still Lilim, Bloom, Ray. Even if you're a PvP player, these 3 units are still really good. They're not core units in PvP. The core units in PvP, I would say, are Juanxi, Fiamelia. I would say Plume is probably one of the really good units in PvP. You know, Ketha's still really good. Zhuanli, Luvia, Nathan, Sylvia. And I think that's it. I think these are like the core, the best units in PvP at the moment. Nivette is one of the best last picks in the game, and she only needs 3 lattices. So you could argue that she's also a core unit. Essel's also pretty good. And these are really the PvP units. Ling is also good. I'm not going to be talking about Ling, Klaus, or Lian because you get 12 lattices for them on... everyone gets them fully maxed out for free, so I'm not going to be talking about them. But, well, I guess just to sum it up, Ling is really good in PvE and PvP. Klaus is insane in PvE. Lian is really good in PvE and PvP as a cleaver, but you will need to play a specific playstyle to make her work that most new players won't be able to make her work, essentially, in PvP. In PvE, Lian is still pretty decent. Other PvE units, other than Lilim, Plume, and Ray, and Klaus, would be... Zhuanqi is a pretty good PvE unit. Really, really good. I'm seeing a lot of new players use him. Doki's pretty decent for early on, especially against bosses like Sharon, etc. Who's a good PvE unit as well? If I'm talking about new players, I'm not going to be mentioning Bornova, Chloros. These units are just for Nether Quarry, and it's for competitive PvE modes, I guess you could call it. Yeah, I would say the core PvE units for new players: Bloom, Ray, Lilim, Zhuanxi. Zhuanli is also good in PvE. Lily is also pretty decent. I think that's it. I think like if you have Plume, Ray, Lilim, Lily, Ling, Klaus, you get them for free. Zhuanqi, you could clear out every single PvE mode in the game, except for like the newest Vespera boss. You need a specific team for that. That includes Rosa, Freya, and the Abyss modes. I haven't done any Abyss stage except for Sharon, so I'm not quite sure as of yet. And if you want to know what the core PvP units are, even though I just mentioned them, you could just go to RTA, you could go to rank, and you could see what the top players are using. You'll see it's the same units every single time. Luvia, Zhuanli, you're not going to see a lot of Lilies, but this guy, the top one guy, used Lily, Lilim. You'll see a lot of Sharons, a lot of Fias, a lot of Rays, a lot of Kethos, Sylvia, Zhuanqi, Luan. Red Dotting, I'd still consider him pretty niche. Valerian, but you know, she's a 4-star, she's an awakening unit. You'll see a lot of turn dots, quite a bit of Yellies I'm seeing. You'll see some Tiamat, some Acels, some Hellkit is pretty niche, but I actually saw him be played quite a bit in the top ranks, which is kind of funny. You know, Red Dotting is also pretty niche. A lot of Catchies. But it's generally the same units. These are the core PvP units, so you can get the gist of it. If you want to play PvP, you just build the core units. You're not going to see a lot of Nathans because he always gets banned. Nathan and Sylvia get banned most matches, so you're not going to see them a lot. But these two are like top 2 units right now. You'll see some Giada's. Giada's actually good in PvE and PvP, so I wouldn't call her a bad investment. She's niche in PvP, but in PvE she's actually pretty decent cleaver. So if you have her invested already, I would say go all in on her, then reset her. It wouldn't be like a bad investment. Messiah is back, Messiah Cleave is back. Messiah is also good in PvE and Anisync, I think, and Betrek in these game modes is decent. And it's basically the same units. This is the first Rahu I see. I'm not gonna reset Rahu as of yet. I'm still gonna wait. Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe one of the new sets is good on him. But I don't see it. Yeah, this is the first Heinrich I see. I haven't seen any Veronicas yet. That's why I reset her. She's pretty bad. She did get nerfed. It's just the power creep. And that's basically it, right? Just if you're a new player, get the core units built for PvE or PvP or both, depending on the playstyle you want. If you're a new player, you know, prioritizing both PvP and PvE is going to be a bit hard, so you have to focus on one first after you're done with the core PvE stages, obviously. And then if you want to compete in the quarry and these game modes, you'll have to give up your PvP lattices for a while, anyways. And then the longer you play, the more lattices you get, the more the better your account gets overall, the more modes you can play later on. And if you're an old player like me, you should know what to reset. Reset units that you just don't see any use for. If you're a PvP player, just reset the units that you absolutely are sure that you want to use in like 100 games. Like Heinrich, I haven't used in probably 300 games. Veronica, I haven't used in over 100 games. Palin, I haven't used in a while. Even when she was good, I still haven't really used her. She doesn't really fit my play style. I don't know. The funny thing is, when Palin released, I was a Palin merchant because I have her P5 and I have her for exclusive lattices, and I never reset her. Once she got buffed, I just didn't use her. I just found her boring. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's because she became meta, and I don't like playing meta units. Maybe, I'm not sure, or because nothing changed about her playstyle. She's still the same unit, she's just slightly better, but I enjoyed her more when she launched than when she got buffed, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to reset her because, you know, it's I have four exclusive lattices into her. It's kind of a waste. I would reset someone like Heinrich over her, because Heinrich I absolutely am sure that I will not use, and that's how you should look at it, honestly. That's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.